Should you get transcriptions for your videos or podcasts? So you run a YouTube video channel, or maybe you run a podcast, or maybe both, and you're asking the question, should you go ahead and pay to get your videos or your podcast turned into the written word, which you can put on your website or do whatever it is you want to do with it? That's exactly what I want to talk about in this lesson. And I want to go through a bunch of different things that may influence whether or not you go ahead and do this. And I've got the perfect example for you of whether or not this is worth it with my website, because I do videos, I do a podcast, and I get them transcribed as well. So we can look at some real data here. So the first thing that I want to analyze is the audience reach. What sort of reach are we going to have if we get these transcriptions done? Is it going to help to increase our reach so we can reach more people with our message, whatever that may be? And I have the perfect example for you guys, and it's my website, onproperty.com.au. This is an Australian website about investing in positive cash flow properties in Australia. If that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry, because it makes sense to the people who visit my site and listen to my podcast. Now, on this website, I create videos, and those videos, I also extract the MP3, turn them into podcasts, and I also get them transcribed and turn them into blog posts. So let's have a look at the different statistics for these. So first, let's look at the podcast. I'm looking at the month of November because the month of December is all over the shop because it's just my worst month. So we're looking at November, and for the podcast, I had 8,630 plays. Now, you might not think that's a lot of plays, but for this market, that's pretty good, and I make a decent living from this website. So I'm not worried about hundreds of thousands of plays like some of you guys are. So we had 8,630 plays on the podcast. Then let's have a look at the YouTube channel. Well, we had 9,211 views on the YouTube channel. Now I have over 300 videos. I have over 300 podcast episodes. So you can see that, for the amount of stuff that I do, views and podcast listens, yeah, they're all right, but not amazing. Whereas when we go to the website, we can see sessions, 59,963 sessions on my website. That is triple or more than triple the podcast and YouTube combined. Now, I do have some blog posts thrown in there that don't exist as podcasts as well. But overall, we can see we're getting massive results from the transcriptions that I have on my website. So in terms of audience reach, yes, it's going to be absolutely worth it, because there's more people Googling stuff than there are people researching stuff on YouTube or people researching stuff in podcasts. Because let's face it, iTunes search in podcasts sucks in order to find good information. So everyone still goes to Google, more people looking for written content, so it will help you get more audience reach. Second, let's have a look at the website benefits, okay? Let's go back to my website on property.com.au. I'll go ahead and log out so you can see the logged out experience. If someone comes to my website, I've got so many different opportunities to market to them. They can go ahead and click here and get access to my product, so they can pay for my product. I can talk about it there. If they go and they view a blog post, any blog post, they will get this notification down the bottom where they can go ahead and sign up for my email list. I also have opportunities to share resources with them, to market my membership program, and all that sort of stuff. So when someone's on your website, it's so much easier to get them to go somewhere else, to get them to sign up for your email list, or to get them to go to your sales page. Whereas when they're in the podcast and they're in the YouTube channel, that can be a little harder to do. So there are some massive benefits in getting people to your website and being able to convert them from your website, or at least get them as an email subscriber. Thirdly, what about the ranking benefits? Now, I'm not talking about getting traffic to your website. We've already established that that is probably going to be a good idea. But I'm talking about YouTube, and I'm talking about iTunes, okay? It is well known in the industry that if you put transcriptions on your YouTube video, your chances of ranking are going to be higher. If you put transcriptions in, YouTube can then understand what the content of your video is and rank you accordingly. Obviously, you still need to do things like the title tags, and you need to do a good description, all of that sort of stuff. But having the transcription in there can definitely help you. So there are some ranking benefits with YouTube, not so much with iTunes. However, as podcasts improve and the technology behind that improves, it may help you in the future as they begin to try and understand understand what exactly the podcasts are about, and people do more searches in podcasts. And lastly, let's look at the cost versus reward. Is it worth paying to get these transcriptions done? I did a full lesson on how to get cheap transcriptions for your videos or podcasts. You can get them for as cheap as 17 cents per audio minute. So that means if you have an hour of audio, it's going to cost you about $11. So it is quite cheap. If you use something like rev.com, which is one of the more popular sites, an hour of audio is going to cost you $60. So go ahead and check out that video if you want to get cheap transcriptions that are actually really good as well. So when it comes to cost versus reward, you need to weigh up, is it actually worth getting that audience reach? Is it worth getting the benefits of people on your website and trying to convert them on there? Is it worth the ranking benefits in YouTube and potentially in iTunes? You need to weigh up for yourself whether the cost versus reward is worth it. And for me, with On Property, it is absolutely worth it. We can see that I'm getting 8,600 listens of the podcast. In YouTube, it was 9,000, and I'm making anywhere between $2,000 to $6,000 a month on my own product sales, as well as a couple of $1,000s a month in terms of affiliate sales from that website. So I'm doing pretty well, and the cost versus reward is great for me, but depending on what niche you're in, you really need to assess whether it's going to be worth it for you. So is it worth it? Really, it depends on your situation. It depends on the niche that you're in. It depends on whether you can afford that $11 per audio hour and you think you're going to get a return for that. Again, if you want to find out how to do it, just check out my video on how to get cheap transcriptions for your videos or podcasts. That completes this video. Should you get transcriptions for your video or podcast? I believe you should. However, you need to assess it for your own situation and decide for yourself. Don't forget, if you found this video useful and you're on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up as it helps more people find this video. Also, you can subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos, and you can find more tutorials and lessons just like this one on how to do so many different things online. Just go to pelt.co to see all of that over there. And until next time, guys, keep learning.